Hello everyone, Cindy here with Monarch Mom DIY. Thanks so much for joining me today on my channel where I love to bring you the best tips and tools for creating beautiful home decor on a budget. Today I have 4 new budget-friendly fall farmhouse DIYs. Here we go. For our first DIY today, I am making a clothespin wreath. I've been wanting to try one of these for a while, so I'm using an 18-inch wreath, these 2 spray paints from, it looks like Rust-Oleum and Krylon, and a package of 100 clothespins from Walmart. So what I did with these is I sprayed 65 of them with this wild honey color. It's like a matte golden yellow. And then I sprayed the other 35 with a satin espresso. So here you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking 1 clothespin on the inner 2 rings of the wreath, and then the next one is on the, I guess I'd call them the second and third rings of the wreath. So you'll have one going a little further in and then one kind of sticking out more on the outside. So what I did is I did a pattern of 5 yellows, 3 browns all the way around. There were a couple spots where I only had 2 browns, but this is what it looks like when you have all 100 clothespins around. Now, if you're using a smaller wreath form, you won't need as many. This is one of the metal welcome words from Dollar Tree. I sprayed this also with that honey yellow color, and this is just a piece from a Dollar Tree sign that I took apart, and I sprayed this with the espresso. So everything is going to have those 2 colors to go with our sunflower theme. Next, I took a couple of bunches of sunflowers from Dollar Tree. I am taking the flower and the 2 leaves off of the stem, putting a little bit of hot glue on the back of the flower so that the leaves will stay on like this but be more flat. So I believe I had 10 of these, and I think I ended up using 9 on the left side of my wreath. So first I'm going to hot glue to a couple of these clothespin ends that are sticking up. I'm going to hot glue our little sign that says welcome. I wanted to make sure I got that centered first before I started adding sunflowers. So then just taking some of these sunflowers, I'm just arranging them, placing them how I think I want them to go, and then I'll go ahead and hot glue those on. And this is what our finished wreath looks like. Of course, you could add sunflowers all the way around. You could add a bow to this, but I just love the simplicity of this, and I can't wait to hang it on my door this late fall or late summer, early fall. This second DIY was a fun twist on a Hexagon shelf I made in a previous video. I am using 3 different sizes of craft sticks. You can get these at Walmart, sometimes Dollar Tree. These are the jumbos or giants, I can't remember. But what I did is I made a hexagon shape on the computer, printed that out, and I'm just setting that in the center to try and evenly space out these giant craft sticks. So you can see I have the top, the bottom left, and the bottom right are kind of on the table. And then I'm taking 3 more craft sticks and I'm just gluing them on the ends. Here you can see the bottom one to go across. So you kind of have 2 layers to make each level of the hexagon, if that makes sense. So 3 are going to be on the bottom, and then 3 you're going to glue to the top. Now the hardest part of this is this first layer, because the sticks want to move around and you want to just try and make sure they're as even as possible so that whichever way you turn this hexagon, it's the same. So here you can see I'm checking it, making sure it's the same. Once you have this first layer down, all it is you're going to just add layers. So here I'm doing another one on the top, and then I'll do another one on the bottom right, and then on the bottom left. And for each of these hexagons, I believe, depending on how many craft sticks I had, I made anywhere from 8 to 10 layers so that my hexagon was nice and thick. And here you can see my 3 different sizes I made. And then I'm going to just paint those with some orange acrylic paint, and I mixed in a little bit of my antique wax just to darken up that color a little bit more. I wish I would have had more of the pumpkin Waverly chalk paint color, but I didn't, so this method works just as well. So you're going to want to paint all the surfaces of your hexagon pumpkins. Now maybe you want to do a different color. That is totally up to you and the beauty of DIY. So now that I've done the fronts, you can see I'm going to go in with my paintbrush and trying to really get it in between all of those craft sticks, paint all of my pumpkins orange. For the stems, I'm going to take actual Jenga blocks, but you could use the tumbling tower blocks, and I'm just going to glue 2 together in a sandwich cookie method for each of my pumpkins. And then once those are dry, we'll go ahead and we'll paint those and then add them to our pumpkins. So here they are dry. I'm going to just give these a coat of our truffle chalk paint, that nice dark rich chocolate brown, and then those will be good to go and add to our pumpkins. Now that our pumpkins are dry, we can add some decorative. You could add little vines to this. Those berry garlands would be really cute. I just had some fallish type leaves left over in my stash, so I'm just going to add a couple of these to the top of each of my hexagon pumpkins. And then once I have the leaves on all 3, I will be adding the stems. Now these were having a little bit of trouble standing up, so I just took a Jenga block and glued it to the base. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and paint that orange as well, just so it blends in a little bit more. For my 2 smaller pumpkins, I just used 1, and then for my huge hexagon pumpkin using the giant craft sticks, I did glue 2 of these together and then glued those to the base of my largest pumpkin. And now that our pumpkins are nice and sturdy, you can go ahead and glue your Jenga block stem to the top of each of your pumpkins and just attach that with some hot glue. And once you have all 3 of those done, you are done with this project. And here's our 3 hexagon pumpkins. I think I'm going to put these out on my porch and put a battery powered candle at the base of each one. I think these are so cute and really inexpensive to make. Just go find yourself some craft sticks in all sorts of different sizes. For our 3rd project, I am going to make a little photo clip display that says thankful. This would be great all year, but especially for the fall. I'm using poster letters, these adhesive dots, a piece of wood, and a piece of the adhesive cork. So this is a piece of wood that I purchased at Lowe's, I believe. It is a 1-inch thick board, and I cut it at, I bought it at 4 feet, but I cut it at 2 feet. So I'm just giving it a nice coat of our antique wax because I really wanted that dark wood color for this to contrast the light brown of the adhesive cork. So I am doing front and back. I may be selling this in my craft show or giving it as a gift. Now I showed some little push pins with hooks, but I am, later on you'll see, I'm going to use mini clothespins instead, and we will get to that as soon as this board is dry. Now it's drying. I'm cutting some pieces of the adhesive cork that are 2.5 inches at the top and 2 3/4 inches tall. So you'll see I'm using my trimmer. It doesn't really cut all the way through, but it gives me enough that I can finish it up with my scissors. Also, I've cut out poster letters to spell out the word thankful. Again, you could do your family's last name. You could do this as a gift with their last name, whatever you want. Now, these These are the medium of these adhesive dots. They look like those little candy buttons that we used to get at the candy store. And I am going to take 4 rows of these, enough for 4 for each of my letters, and I'm going to paint these black. I want them to look like little nail heads when they're done. So we're going to paint those and let those dry. Once those are dry, you can see I'm put just a little dot of hot glue in each corner of my cork rectangles and just attach one of those. And I think this is such a cute way to get another little industrial farmhouse look to this project and just really dress it up. So once you have your little faux nail heads on all of the rectangles, go ahead then and you can start placing your poster letters. I do the little nail heads first so I can then get the letter centered in the middle of those. I want you to notice up at the top, I did not have an H, so I took 2 I's and then a little cross piece from another letter to make my H, and you'd never even know it. Once those are all done, I'm just placing them, kind of spacing them out on my dried board, and then we'll go ahead and peel the backing paper, add some hot glue, and get those down to our board to spell thankful. I did take 2 of these little, I think they're called eye screws, and I wanted this to be able to hang without hot gluing the jute twine to the back. So I tap it in with my hammer, and then I'm going to use my hands and pliers just to twist it in all the way so that the little circle is flush with the board. So I'm going to do one on each end of my thankful board so that this will be able to hang really, really nice. Next, we're going to add a few of these mini wooden clothespins from Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue them here kind of halfway hanging off the bottom of the board. And I'm going to use 7 of these so they're between each of my letters. And you can hang photos on there. You'll see what I'm going to do here in a minute. Then I'm going to take some jute twine. I'm going to double it just so it's a little thicker of a string and just tie knots on each of those eye screws to make our hanger for our sign. You know, another cute idea if you did this around Thanksgiving time would be for each family member to have a list going of things they're thankful for, or you could just have them clip something each day. They could take turns and just hang things from here that they are thankful for to get focused for celebrating Thanksgiving. Here's what I did. You've seen these pictures before. You could just also hang pictures of who you're thankful for. You could make this say grandkids and make it for a wonderful gift for grandma and grandpa. And I just think it turned out so, so cute. Our 4th DIY is going to be a sunflower mason jar welcome sign. I'm using any jars type of sign from Dollar Tree. These sunflower wall stickers, some scrapbook paper, a metal welcome word, and one of these like metal, I think it's like a grilling or something, pan from Dollar Tree. I think you get 2 in a pack. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the embellishments from the front of this sign. Of course, if you wanted to make this double-sided, leave all this on the front and just do what I'm going to do on the back, and then you've got a multi-purpose sign. Once I have the raised glitter off, I'm going to go ahead and apply a layer of my Mod Podge. You can get this at craft stores, even Dollar Trees carry the small bottles. Just a nice even layer, and then I'm going to lay down my wood scrapbook paper that I got for 25 cents at Hobby Lobby. I love using these and buying them, especially when they're on sale. So go ahead and lay that wood grain scrapbook paper down, or any other type of scrapbook paper you'd like, and just rub it pretty good to get all the air bubbles out. Then you're going to set that aside and let that dry. Once it's dry, using my little fingertip knife here, I'm just flipping it around, and this makes it pretty quick to go ahead and get off the excess paper without making it look messy by trying to use scissors. Then we'll turn it back over and just make sure everything is nice and stuck down. Now, using this little burlap jar topper they had, I'm going to trace it on this metal grilling or cookie sheet from Dollar Tree. Just trace around it with a Sharpie and then be very careful that you don't cut yourself on the sharp metal. I'm going to just cut this out, and this just adds more of a high-end actual metal jar lid look to our project. So we're going to go ahead and just hot glue that down, trying to decide if I want the shiny side or the matte finish side, but get that glued down and then we'll move on. I love these sunflower stickers. These are great for late summer, early fall, and I'm just going to very carefully peel these down and just kind of figure out where I'm going to place my 3 sunflowers on my sign. Again, I'm going to make this a welcome sign, but you could make it say, you know, thankful. You can make it say whatever you want, but these are so beautiful. And I've actually seen some other wall stickers where it's a different flower, but I wanted to use these for, like I said, late summer, early fall. So just place it where you think you want it. And it's okay if it's hanging off because you can trim that. Then we're going to take our other sunflower from the back side and just kind of get it in there so the 3 are together in a grouping there. So here, like I said, you can just take some little scissors if they'll get close enough, or that fingertip knife, and just go around and trim away your extra pieces of sunflower sticker. And there, look at how beautiful that looks. Like it came like that on the sign. Now the welcome, I didn't really want it to cover the flowers, so I am going to attach that probably down where the leaves and stems are. But first I have to add the cute little bees that are also part of the sticker. I don't want anything to be wasted. Here's an example of another way you can just elevate the look of your project. Instead of just leaving that metal oval at the top, go around it lightly with a Sharpie, draw in some lines so that it actually looks like a jar lid. And then I am taking that Sharpie and just lightly going around the edges of my jar as well. These are things that just really give your project more of a finished look. And there you go. I think it looks great. Now the last thing we have to do is go ahead and seal the stickers and the paper down with matte finish Mod Podge. You just want to make sure it's laying everything flat and nothing's peeling up. And then once that's dry, we'll go ahead and glue our welcome to the bottom part of our sign, add our hanging jute twine back, and we are all finished. And here's our finished sign. I think this is so beautiful. You could even put this in the center of a wreath if you'd like, but I just think it's so fun and summery, could make a great gift as well. Again, thanks so much for joining me on my channel. If you're new and you love budget home decor ideas, I hope you'll consider sticking around by hitting that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me to grow my channel. And let me know in the comments which of these projects was your favorite. Take care.